What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of F This Review, and tonight I'm going to be breaking down the sophomore album of the dynamic duo Anderson .Paak and Knxwledge, No Worries. Why, Lord? The follow-up to that, to me, it's a critically acclaimed album. Yes Lord, what came out 7 years ago, maybe more than 7 years ago at this point. Yes Lord, what I think is just a fucking classic album from top to bottom. So when they announced that they were coming out with the follow-up album, I was ecstatic. They've been dropping singles here and there. It felt like over a year. It was good to finally get the complete album. And I can honestly say since last Friday, this album hasn't left my rotation since. So many bangers on here. For me, it's a development growth from the first one, because the first one was really sample driven and this one is too, but it feels like they added more live instrumentation into this one. It felt like the ideas were a little bit flushed out more. It's a great breakup album, and not in the regular sense, but more in a self-evaluation way, especially from Anderson .Paak. And I gotta say, Anderson .Paak has been on a hell of a run for the past, it felt like the past decade. He's been on an amazing run. I think that deserves a little bit more credit than I see. Like, Anderson .Paak still doesn't feel like a household name yet, even though he had a smash hit with Bruno Mars and a whole album with Bruno Mars. It still doesn't feel like he's a household name. He performed at the Super Bowl, but it still doesn't feel like everyone knows Anderson .Paak. And Knxwledge as well, amazing producer. The beats are still soulful, just like Yes Lord, but it feels like the ideas are way more flushed out than they were. It sounds like more live instrumentation was added. It feels like to me, and this is no shade to anything, it feels like Yes Lord had a mixtape feel to it, and Why Lord has like a clean album feel to it. Also, the guest appearances that's on here, I feel like all fit perfectly, because the first one didn't really had any guest appearances on it at all. So on this album, when we hear Dave Chappelle open the album, or we hear Snoop Dogg on the album, or Thundercat, which Keeper is my favorite song on the album. If you haven't heard that song, just go listen to it right now. Pause the video, go listen to Keeper, come back and finish up. To October London with the falsetto on From Here, it was just, to Charlie Wilson, I forgot Uncle Charlie was on here, to Charlie Wilson, to Earl Sweatshirt, and Ray Khalid, I think that's Anderson .Paak's artist, all brought something to the table, and it made the album even more special to me. To elaborate on the fact that this sounds more like a complete album, the transitions flow way better. Even from the Dave Chappelle skit intro, Thank You, into 86 Centra, where also we gotta respect Anderson .Paak for his raps. I just had to throw that in there. To move on to Keeper, Distractions, Looking, Where Do I Go, Where I Go, Daydreaming, to From Here, Fall Through, Battlefield. Battlefield has a crazy beat. Never remixed with Charlie Wilson, and the way that transition to Distant Space, it's such a great album. It's to me, when it went off, because it has these interludes placed in between, so we'll get like Even More, or what's the name of it, Here I Am, or Looking, and we'll get these small breaks in between the songs that sort of serve as acts in a way. I thought that was amazing, and this is one of the ones I gotta get a vinyl to. Like, this one, to prove my point, the album debuted on Billboard's Hot 200 album at 104, and Anderson .Paak may Keep the Door Open. And I know that it's like an independent album and things of that nature, but you would just think, I would think if a mainstream artist of someone like Anderson .Paak, if a mainstream artist did the same thing that Anderson .Paak was doing, whether that be the hits on his own, the hits with Bruno, the Super Bowl, blah, 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 if they decided to go do a side project and wasn't so, I don't know, this is still an Anderson .Paak's lane to me. So if they went along and made an album, I feel like this album would be being talked about way more and promoted more. Like, it's just weird that it's a huge artist. This artist does all these huge things and checking all the boxes, Grammys and everything, but still drops an album and debuts at 104. Like, that's the reason I do these. That's the reason I do these reviews, is because things like music like this needs the recognition. I know I'm a react to the whatever this is and whatever that is and review whatever, you know. But these albums that come along that we kind of just sweep under the rug, these are the gems of the year to me. So I just had to say that. Some of my favorites on here, I would say Keeper featuring Thundercat, From Here featuring Snoop and October London, Never Remix with Charlie Wilson. She Used is like that song where he does like a high-pitched soulful vocal. He does a high-pitched vocal over this soulful ass beat. I think that's the one that Nas used on one of the Magics. And Daydreaming, that song is just amazing. To me, 19 songs, only 44 minutes. You can't really go wrong there. If you haven't heard the Wild Lord album, this is like my call to go listen. Like, go listen right now. Out of all the albums that dropped this year, this is a high contender. To me, out of all the albums that dropped this year, and we're end of June, 7 months in almost, this is contender for album of the year to me, of all genres. And I listen to everything. Even if I don't review it, I listen to it. And I'm an R&B head, so when I hear this, to bring all those sounds in, to bring the hip hop in, to bring the jazz in, to bring the blues in, that's what it is. It's like a 2025 blues album, like in its purest form. That's what this album is. A 2025 blues album, just impeccable. And to know that Anderson .Paak, not to bring personal in it, but he did just go through a divorce not too long ago, so this album makes sense. It definitely makes sense, and he's not bashing his wife at all. He's literally just taking accountability, and it's literally a song on here where he talks about what I could have done better, and now I hope you find somebody you can go on those vacations with, and like he wasn't. It's a beautiful story weaved in here. Anderson .Paak, Knxwledge, No Worries, Wild Lord. Wild Lord, y'all did it. Wild Lord. Another great addition to the duo. Hopefully we get a third one. What would be the third one called? Yes Lord, Wild Lord, and Bless Lord, More Lord. Like, leave that in the comments. What should be the trilogy? What should be the last one called of this? Leave that in the comments. As always, I'm Tatum. Peace.